Hello there, I'm Flitworth, and welcome to my new show, Creature Creator, the show where I'll be helping you bring your favorite characters in pop culture to your gaming tables. Today, I will talk about everyone's favorite animatronic stars from the highly popular horror franchise Five Nights at Freddy's.
0933, 632.
Make mommy proud, Jason.
Be my victim. Stop right there and surrender.
Back in 1993, for my birthday, my mom took my friends and I to the coolest place a 90s kid can think of, Chuck E. Cheese. The party had everything. There were games, a ton of pizza, and I got a wicked Batman sleeping bag. I mean, it was legit. My favorite part of the day, though, believe it or not, was getting to watch Chucky perform with his band. The animatronics were like these giant toys to me, with their jerky movements and oversized eyes. Did they look a little uncanny? Well, yeah, but that was part of their charm to me. I didn't find them scary at all. That is until close to 2 decades later, when the Five Nights at Freddy franchise showed us all the horrors that could be lurking in our local pizzerias. From high-tech suits to mischievous toy dolls, the Fazbear menagerie is rife with potential for your tables. To keep things simple though, I'm specifically going to be talking about the animatronics from the original Five Nights at Freddy's game. I mean, quite frankly, if I was to cover every type of animatronic, we would be here all day. I mean, just looking at Freddy alone, it's crazy how many different types there are. We have, of course, the classic Freddy, there's the Withered Freddy, there's the Toy Freddy, there is the Shadow Freddy, there's the Phantom Freddy, Nightmare Freddy, Dreadbear Freddy, Lefty Freddy, the Freddy's, Funtime Freddy, Rockstar Freddy, Dark Freddy, Party Freddy, Molten Freddy, and most recently, Glamrock Freddy from the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach game that was just released last month. As for the original game, it first surfaced onto the internet scene back in 2014 and was programmed solely by the franchise creator, Scott Cawthon. Scott was inspired to create Five Nights after his previous game was torn apart by reviewers for having a main character, as he explained in an interview with IGN, that looked like a scary animatronic animal. I was heartbroken and was ready to give up on game making. Then one night something snapped in me, and I thought to myself, I bet I can make something a lot scarier than that. Which Scott certainly delivered with the creation of Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and of course, Freddy Fazbear. All 4 of these creepy animatronics quickly reached a cult-like status thanks to Five Nights at Freddy's simple concept and engaging atmosphere, whose popularity has only been boosted by the hundreds, if not thousands of Let's Plays of people attempting to survive the night throughout the many games featured in this popular franchise. Personally, I don't think I'll ever forget the first time I watched Markiplier play Five Nights at Freddy's way back in 2014. It was late at night, it was just me and my fiancée Layla, all curled up under the covers watching my thing play through night 4, and Mark got attacked by Foxy out of the blue. And we screamed so loud, my parents, who were sleeping at the time, came barreling down to check on us to make sure we weren't being murdered or anything like that. Honestly, you couldn't ask for a more recognizable group of monsters to bring to your tabletop adventures, especially if your players happen to be first-timers to role-playing games. It's better to hook people into the hobby with the familiar before branching out into the great unknown, if you know what I mean. So let's start breaking down these ravenous robots. To begin with, let's target their greatest strength, which is unquestionably their dexterity. I mean, sure, the Bonnie and Chica animatronics at Fazbear's may not be winning any marathons anytime soon, but Foxy is more than capable of chasing down your ass, while Freddy can, and will, sneak into the same room as the player without them knowing. That silly old bear is no stranger to keeping to the shadows. To better reflect these differences in dexterity and tactics, Moving forward, I'll be referring to the Fazbear gang under 3 different types of animatronics. Stalker for Bonnie and Chica, Runner for Foxy, and Master for Freddy Fazbear. I also felt it was important to have these classifications because, in my research, I found that Foxy and Freddy harass their victims in ways that their cohorts simply do not showcase. For instance, Foxy displays high wisdom with how he will wait for players' guards to be down before racing towards them. Meanwhile, Freddy will taunt the player with eerie laughter and creepy music thanks to his unquestionably high charisma. Now, this is not to say our Stalker animatronics are any lesser in comparison, far from it. Where they lack in skill, they make up with their endless determination to always keep close to the player, pressuring them to focus more on their advances and less on the other animatronics. Remembering teamwork makes the dream work will be really important if you plan to bring this lot to your table. Now, these robots certainly are not without their weaknesses. Physically, their strength is pretty average in the first game, with none of the animatronics being able to break down the metal doors to the security office. If they work together, I could see them breaking in with some form of battering ram, but they unfortunately, or fortunately depending on how you look at it, are not the most intelligent monsters around. They don't strategize nor coordinate their attacks. These animatronics are more like meandering toddlers than a pack of wolves. Which is fitting considering the animatronics are haunted by the murder children of one of the co-founders of Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria, William Afton. When taking all of these factors into consideration, your stat sheets should look similar to these ones I made up for D&D 5th edition. Overall, these bots are pretty damn easy to beat up if out in the open, even for lower level parties. However, I've designed them to be complete nightmares if they are allowed to sneak through the shadows. For starters, let's talk about our Stalker animatronics. While I wanted these jerks to be slow and easy to spot, I designed them so that when they are able to get close and personal, they will latch onto their prey and not let go, making their victims open for attacks from the other bots. Next, we have the Runner animatronics, who I namely designed to wait into the shadow before rushing out for a series of quick, painful attacks. Lastly, we have the Master animatronic stats for guys like Freddy. You'll be using these guys to simply cause fear and paranoia amongst your players, almost behooving your players to do their best to ensure that they are not caught unawares by this bastard. The only thing I left consistent across all 3 variants were their constitutions, and that's because fundamentally, underneath, they all have the same endoskeletons, along with the same weaknesses to fire, water, and electricity. On the attack and abilities front, your Stalkers and Runners should have similar skill sets. A basic strike attack combined with an ability or two that allows them to disengage and disappear back into the shadows is what I would recommend. While with your Master animatronic, you can have a little bit more fun by equipping them with tricks and install things like fear and blindness onto your players' characters. Bonus points if you also play Freddy's creepy-ass laugh whenever you do. If you would like to use these stat sheets in your own games, I've put together a link to download them in this video's description. You are completely free to use them as you see fit. Just do me a favor and make sure to come back and share any fun stories you may have with them later. All that's left is setting the scene for your game, to which I have 2 suggestions. First up, you got your classic map inspired by the pizzeria from the first game. A medium-sized indoor complex with your players forced to keep tight inside a supposed safe room for a set amount of time. What I really like about this simple setup is just how tight and confined it is for the players. There's not a lot of room for them to run around or to escape, but there are certainly plenty of places for our animatronics to hide in the shadows as they slowly make their way towards the room of safety that the players are located in. The other I would go for is similarly set indoors. However, this time around it'd be your player characters who will be going on the hunt for the animatronics. Perfect for higher level parties, this map will call for a tad of a larger layout. Something with a lot of places for animatronics to lie in wait. A good way to picture this is while the first map had just a performance area for the band, this other map will call for a whole Chuck E. Cheese kind of setup with an arcade, a theater, a ball pit, a play area, and more. What's great about both setups is how easily they lend themselves to simple tweaks game masters can employ to either heighten the horror or theme of the encounter. For instance, you can make your players more defenseless by requiring them to turn over all their equipment first, or you can even plan this scenario to take place at the same time as someone's birthday, in character or otherwise.
And for those fantasy adventurers out there, you can easily reset all this by making animatronics golems or constructs created by some whacked out wizard or artificer. You could change the pizzeria to a tavern or cafe, and so on and so forth.
After all, the Freddy franchise has proven that no matter if the game is set in a pizzeria, cornfield, or even in a child's bedroom, Freddy and his friends are coming for you all the same.
Hey guys, thanks for watching!
Be sure to comment in the video about what you'd like to see next!
Arr! And don't forget to like and subscribe, you landlubbers! Arr!
Oh my!
I think it's gonna be okay.
We'll be fine. Let's get pizza!
Oh, good idea!